My name is Liz Coldwind Santana Kiser. I'm an elder, a councilwoman. I'm a Chaubunagungamaug band of Nipmuc Indians. I am also serving as the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer. As we meet here today, I would like to take a moment to recognize the indigenous peoples of this land we walk on. It gives me great pleasure to know that the land that we're walking on today was walked on by my ancestors many years ago. They had a heart that was always open and a faith and wisdom of the life of Mother Earth. Like our ancestors before us, we are the stewards of this land. We must always recognize the importance of taking care of Mother Earth. If we don't take care of Mother Earth, it certainly is not going to take care of us. That's our responsibility, not only as Native people, but as a human being. So how fortunate are we today to have learned the old ways, to carry around the old stories and the lessons. And what a beautiful gift we have of the spirit that always shines a positive light on us. It is in the same spirit that brings us together today. Today we are grateful because life is good. We live by and are healed by the powers of our ancestors' teachings. That's how we have been surviving. It is a spirit that allows us to celebrate, even when the world around us is going through sickness and wars. It is that spirit, with those life lessons that help us as we navigate our way across this land. When our planes can't fly and our computers don't work, the old ways have never failed us. With the right spirit and the life lessons, we can live well today and continue to prosper. Yes, the struggle is real. It exists. But the success of the younger generations definitely assures us that we're going in the right path with our younger generations. They continue to rebound and are erasing the stereotypes that haunt us. They are working on this. They are armed with the beauty of their identity as indigenous men and women. They are powerful in spite of the 100 years of abuse to our people. They, the next generations, are showing the world that Native people and what they can do. We really are the most misunderstood ethnic group in this country. Most people, many people do not know what to think about Native people that are living here today. Their education has told them that the people in the East are gone, are dead. Well, I'm standing here speaking to you as a Nipmuc elder, as a Nipmuc woman. We are here, and we are thriving. I don't want you to forget about the history of abuse to my people, because those who forget history, are destined to repeat history. So today, we are not just our past traumas and hardships. No, we are brilliant and we're powerful people. Today, our people, especially our youth, understand that they stand on the shoulders of the great chiefs, the clan mothers, the medicine men, the warriors, and the elders. So today our goal is to celebrate this greatness and the celebration of our ancestors and the beauty and the power of our people. Tabati, Aho.
I'm not going to talk your ears off too much, so we'll just get straight to doing some singing. The first song I'm going to sing is a Abenaki calling in song, and it's for calling in the spirits, the people, Creator, grandmas, grandfathers to be with us. And then the second song will be a Abenaki, Western Abenaki people song. David had said a few words about how many different people who are now the descendants of the Patumtuck people. Literally, right to the north of here, I'm throwing things on the ground here, the Abenaki, their territory started, intermixed with the Patumtuck people, heavily. To the west, Mohican people bordered them. They mixed with them. To the east were the Nipmuc people. They bordered them and mixed with them. To the south, you had the Mohegan. And you had a little bit towards the southwest, you had the Wappinger-speaking people. All of these people have mixed in. So these people haven't gone extinct. They're still here. They're just now moved in, got pushed out of their homeland, as a lot of us, in the case of the Abenaki, we got pushed all the way from here up to the Canadian border. And some of our people moved over the Canadian border. Some stayed here, some went on the other side, back and forth. So we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. There was a young lady who asked me a question before. And she said to me, she says, "Oh, you look like a white Mohawk," because of the shaved hair and the scalp lock. And again, that's one of those misnomers from TV, that Mohawk people all had their heads shaved and the scalp locks. A lot of them did. But there's many different styles of scalp locks. It's just a traditional hairstyle. People copied each other from time to time. So we know this from historical accounts and things. So you will find that among the people, the descendants of Patumtuck people, and all these different tribes that are here, that we all come in different colors, different sizes, different hairstyles, but we're all still people from these areas. And so, I'll leave you with that.
And now, I'd like to introduce Andre StrongBearHeart Gaines, who is going to lead us in social dances with his nephews Miguel and Daishuan and friend Dylan and who knows who else, but well, we all came here to learn. So this is somebody that I really admire. He's always teaching the youth, always into the old time stuff like ring tanning hides and making paddles. I can't wait to get mine.
Good afternoon, my name is Andre StrongBearHeart. Before we get into some songs, I just wanted to speak on some words here for a minute. Manitou, woman was southern up Manitou, Peduta. We're beyond time, Master Kiser Kokish knew what she wanted in the mission wall. We're beyond time. Boomawong, Nisasa Kashi Kumition. Katabaramish Manitou, you Latiash Nanidion. Katabaramish, Nuchi, Katabaramish, you Wani Musketu, Iwachimata. I want to give thanks in my language because it wasn't until 1978 that we could even speak our language without it being illegal, you know, that Indian Movement Act. We want to talk about these things. The way that we're gathering here today, this not too long ago it was illegal, you know. So today we're coming together and we're gathering and we're speaking our language and we're praying and we're dancing in ways that we did for 10,000 years here, but it wasn't too long ago that me and my family here, our heads would have been put on staffs right outside of here just for doing these things and speaking these ways. So we want to acknowledge that. You know, like I said, my name is Andre StrongBearHeart from the Nipmuc people. You know, our people have always been here. We've never moved. We've had cultural continuity since the beginning of time. You know, I got our family back there. You know, I want to acknowledge the clan mothers and even our matriarchs here. We want to acknowledge the women because we're a matriarch society. You know, it's important to acknowledge them because in today's day and age, patriarchy is the way that forces and moves in a way in society today. And so we need to really take a step back and look at that. And look at the lessons that we learned from these women. You know, we know that they're sacred in that way because they can create life within them, and the Creator showed us that. They showed us that, you know, us men, we were life takers, but women were life givers because they could create life. And we knew that they were in sync. They were in sync with the clan mother of all of us, which is that moon, you know, and so, you know, we give thanks for that gravity from these women, you know? And so before we got into this, you know, this social, this gathering, you know, I want to give thanks for Liz, you know, for speaking these truths. You know, these truths so often go unspoken or people know about them, but they don't hear it from our mouths in the way that she just shared like that. So I want to say thank you for that. You know, and I really am thankful for my healthy elders that are able to stand up and continue to talk. Because it was a time that she can't even remember, or it was illegal for her to speak in that way. And so you need to understand that amount of trauma that still lives inside of her to be able to even speak in this way in today's day. And so I'm grateful for all my teachers and all my elders and all those who have taught me these songs, or taught me this way of walk. You know, where we stand today, you know, I think about this land that we're on right now. You know, the Pecumtuck and the Nipmuc, you know, completely intermarried, intertwined. You know, we speak that same language. And so, and I think about those after the wars, 1675 wars, which was the bloodiest battle that ever set foot on U.S. soil, but for some reason, facilities like this one, like a community center or a community college, they don't teach these truths. They don't teach these truths about what actually happened here. The genocide, the forced assimilation. You know, all my family, we still deal with it in different ways today. You know, before they used to assimilate by forceful migrations or complete genocide. That Christian doctrine of discovery came over here and it allowed legally that if we didn't speak that language or believe in that God, then we could either be killed or turned into slavery. You know, we know that we stepped into that 17th century with that North Atlantic slave trade. Let's talk about Faneuil Hall Marketplace. What was that? That was a marketplace for people. And today you can get those fancy sandwiches there, but it's still called Faneuil Hall Marketplace, where it was a slave trade, and we would stand almost on a platform just like this, being ready to be sold, almost standing just like this. But people don't want to acknowledge that in that way, you know. And we just finished up a machoon. We burnt the machoon in Charlestown, me and my family and community, and for the first time since the wars, you know. That was huge. We had to go through a 5-month process to even be able to do that. We were told no. They're still forcing assimilation. They're still saying no. You can't have cultural continuity. You can't have cultural preservation. What is revitalization? No, you can't, because there's these rules, regulations, these bureaucracies, you know. City ordinance. We had to get you know, insurances, to licenses, to permits, to all the way down to having some guy just saying whether we can burn this machoon out or not. An individual person, that means that one person gets to dictate the cultural preservation and future and the sustainability of our people over one person's decision why we can burn a machoon or not. You know, we're still in a state of assimilation here. And so I want to acknowledge that, even though we're coming here, we're able to sing and dance in these ways, that we're still dealing with real struggles every day. And we need folks to be able to ally along with us, not just dance along beside us, but to ally along with us and fight this fight. You know, the Okeechobee Culture Center's here. I'm the creative director of No Loose Braids. There's Nipmuc Cultural Preservation. There is Eastern Woodland Repatriation. There's many ways that you can line up with us and help us fight this fight. You know, we have some folks from different land trusts that align with us, that help us move into these particular parcels, you know, some being Mount Graceland Trust, you have Hilltown Land Trust. These are people who are lining up with us and understanding what it means to be an ally, to be able to step back into territories and create cultural continuity through cultural easements, through being able to do cultural inventory reports, making sure that we have food and we have these lands that, you know, the average farmer has 100 acres in Western Mass, you know, and so I'm curious if they understand that the food that we eat completely correlates to our health. And so when fiddlehead season comes, when the ramp season comes, when we're looking for these particular types of food or medicine, these plants are really important for us to be able to harvest. And if we can't harvest it because our people are in Springfield or they're in the city in Worcester, you know, how are we supposed to have health? How are we supposed to be who we are here? The Creator put us in a particular place on this planet for a particular reason. There's food that grows here in our traditional homelands that we need to be digesting seasonally, and it grows seasonally for a reason. You know, we need to be eating that seasonally, you know, when it comes to our health physically, our health mentally, spiritually. We need to be on the land, and so there's a lot of folks probably in this room too that might have land that also they wouldn't use in ways that we would use. And so because of this 400-year fracture, we've stepped into a place where there's a lot of unused land and people's properties, you know, or quote unquote, they steward lands. And, you know, we're just in a real fight when it comes to bringing balance back into the earth, back into our people. And, you know, it was a real forced assimilation, and we have a small population of our people now, you know, but there's still a good amount of us here still, right? What they shot for, what they were shooting for, was complete genocide. And just like Liz said, we're still here. You know, we're still speaking our language, we're still having our ceremonies, we're still singing these songs that are 10,000 years old. What we're going to share here today is some song and dance that, you know, is 10,000 years old. You know, these social songs, we would step into each other's communities. You know, like even within our own Nipmuc territory, which stretches all the way up this way, all the way back down, east to Natick, Magungamaug past, south into Wabaquasit territory, North Rhode Island and Connecticut, and all the way back up central, the heart, Hassanamissett, which they call Grafton now. You know, we're still here, and we have large communities within each one of those territories, not huge numbers, but large space. And there's a lot of place for us to be able to come into and to repair the damage that's been done here for the past 400 years. And quite honestly, the land itself has been damaged. You know, we're at a particular point when it comes to our cold river streams and our vernal pools. And when we're taking a look at our cedar swamps, and why they're out of the 6 cedar swamps that I scouted within a year, there's only 2 of them that we can harvest poles to build our traditional homes, our lean-tos out of. You know, that's a serious problem when we start thinking about that. How are we supposed to have cultural continuity and cultural reciprocity or preservation if we're not even able to harvest the cedar poles to be able to build these homes? That's an issue. You know, we stewarded these lands for 10,000 years, and the problem is we have people like DCR and the state who are now stewarding the land in a way that they think is healthy with these rules and regulations. But if you step into Douglas State Forest right now and you look at that cedar swamp, you tell me how good they're stewarding the land. At what time was it ever okay to not touch anything and just say that this is the way that we conserve this, is by not touching anything here? No, you're suffocating the swamp where there's so much dead cedar on the ground that no youth can grow. And there's so many older cedar trees that look beautiful. But how about a community of only elders? What's the foreseeable future if you didn't see any young people in this circle right now? Wouldn't that be a little scary when it comes to the future? That's the way we see when we look into a cedar swamp. We see them as relatives. And it was our job, the Creator asked us and gave us that job to be here as stewards of this land and to speak for these relatives that can't speak, and to look over them and make sure that we bring balance and health back into these beings here. And so that's what's important for us. And we're going to still continue to do that job, even though DCR and the state are saying I couldn't harvest anything out of that area. You know, me and my big bro Anna, I'm like, no, we're going to clear out this cedar swamp, because we showed them, you know, a year later from us clearing out a particular area, a bunch of youth, a bunch of young cedars started to grow. And then we use software and we create these reports. And we show, look at, this is what happened in a year of going against you guys' rules and regulations. Don't you think it's time to start listening to the people who have stewarded the land for 10,000 years here? Why are we not at these forestry management plans? Why are you making decisions without people, with our people at this table anymore? In fact, why are we at a table? Kick the table out the door and let's go outside. You know, these ways, these stuffy rooms and ways and rules that have been created, you gotta break it all down. You gotta start from scratch. That's how we're gonna bring balance back into our people. So I want to also acknowledge some of the folks that aren't here. like, that we spoke about earlier about, forceful migration. I think about the Stockbridge Muncie to the west of us, and they're in Wisconsin now. They should be home. I want to acknowledge them. I want to acknowledge the Odanak. These people who should be here with us today, they should be singing and dancing with us. They should be home. We're waiting for them. And those who are stewarding the lands now should be creating that space for them. It's important. If I know that there's any Nipmucks that are outside of our territory and we're not creating space for them to come back home and bring balance within our peoples, then I don't understand why we're walking in the ways that we're doing without bringing them home first. And so we're going to start this social with a snake dance and a stomp dance. And what this does is it's going to give thanks to all the beings and the relatives here that don't have legs, because you heard me speaking a lot about the cedar trees and those things that can't stomp here. And so I'm going to ask everybody to join us now. We're going to be snaking around, kind of just stomping. This is a callback song. And it's going to bring everybody's energy right back up. Because I know I talk about some heavy things. But it's heavy, like Liz said. It's hard to be an indigenous person, a native person, an aboriginal Nipmuc person here, looked at as an immigrant. Being in particular land parcels or land area masses that folks call private property, knowing that we've hunted or gathered, we have executive order from Governor Dukakis, in 78, we are hunting, fishing, and gathering rights. So when people are starting to talk about that there's private lands or we should be not coming into these spaces because these are our homes now and things like that, we really need to come together, brush shoulder to shoulder, to be able to acknowledge these things so that we can bring health back to our people. Identity is a huge thing when it comes to drug and alcohol addiction, when it comes to the suicide rate. Native Americans are at the highest rate. I got a family who's sitting in prison right now because of their drug and alcohol addiction, and everybody knows somebody with a drug and alcohol problem. And that's the way it is today, in today's day and age. It's really affected everybody, but I want to talk about our numbers. And I want to talk about, go ahead and look at the statistics and look at the percentage rate for when it comes to the funding that goes for the actual individuals. 72% of funding, of mass funding goes to white organizations when it comes to the health or programs. And then it goes down the line, all the way down, and Native Americans are last with 2% goes to funding for our people. I don't just make these things up. You can go ahead and research them yourself. Why is it that we're still invisible here? Why do I have to go into my nephew's school and tell his teacher that it's not okay to tell him in a debate about, in some civics class, that Native American treaties should not be acknowledged, land back should not be acknowledged because it would spiral the community and a whole bunch of things would have to go back into whatever places. Why do I have to go and sit and talk to his professors and tell him why that's not okay for him to say in today's day and age, in 2022, 2023? That same teacher, not knowing that we have to repatriate our ancestors' bones and bury them. He thinks it's okay to talk to him in this way. And when I ask him, what treaty is it that you're talking about? This is a teacher who gets paid to teach our youth. What treaty is it that you're talking about that we should not be acknowledging? He started talking about Omaha treaties. I'm talking about So I told him, you're talking 200 years past assimilation about what happened to our people. I'm talking about 16th century treaties, or have you looked at 16th century deeds and how land has been completely stripped of our people in particular ways? You know, they created, after the wars, they created forceful assimilation. This is the way society works now. Oh, now we have doctors, now we have this, that. And a lot of the times when you look at these treaties and you understand how and why land went into people's property, because that's what they say. It was, oh, the Indians sold the land off, right? Oh, go ahead, take a look at those deeds and tell me, does it look like our people sold that land? First off, all of our people put a mark on it. We didn't even sign with our name, we put a mark. And then when you look at that mark and you understand that deed, and you understand that, you know, Mashalist, you know, signed off this mark for this land out here for 10 beaver pelts for the health of her son. Do you think that she wanted to do that? All you gotta do is look at the original documents. Mass Historical Society. There's many places that you can dig through these deeds and understand why, what happened here and when it happened. And, it's all still in black and white. So I'm going to end with that for a moment, and I'm going to bring us back up. I got some youth with me here, and my brother Dylan, he's from Chappaquiddick. I got my nephews here, they're going to continue singing on with me. But, you know, like I just want to always put out that option. There's ways that you can ally with us. Reach out to us. We're still here. There's many, like I said, I'm the creative director of Notice Braids. There's Okiatepe Culture Center right here in Western Mass. Nipmuc Culture Preservation out in Nipmuc. They call that Peterson now. You know, we're here. There's ways that you can align with us and help us in this movement of bringing balance back within our peoples and back within the earth itself. The earth is struggling. Look at carbon emissions right now. I'm not going to keep going because we'll talk all day about how the earth is struggling. But we're going to sing a little bit. You guys ready to have some fun? Can we make some noise? So we're going to get to the center, and the guy that can help me out with the microphone on this, I'm going to walk away from this. That'll be helpful. All right, so this one's easy, and everybody can join. If you have a rattle, that might be too loud. Can you bring that down a little bit? All right. This is basically just a callback dance. And like I said, it's a stomp dance. And in fact, a lot of our people, since the 90s, have been using this dance also to stomp out addiction. A lot of our people that are going through the drug and alcohol addictions and other mental illnesses and things like that. And so we've been using this dance for that. And so anybody who's got a rattle can join. If we can get man, woman, it's going to bring balance within this dance also. We're in a circle already, but we're going to be snaking through this circle, and then we're going to end up in a foil. You guys can all come right in before we get going. It's basically a follow the leader. I'll keep walking forward so you guys can join in here for a minute. So I'm going to yell a call out, and then my nephews and you guys are going to yell a call back. So you're just going to have to learn it. We're going to you'll hear it. Is it loud? Good. Yo, yo! Yo ho, hey! Yo ho, hey! Yo ho, hey! Yo ho, hey! Hey ho, hey ha! Hey ho, hey ha! Hey ho, hey ha! Hey ho, hey ha! Ho ho, ho ho, ho ho, ho ho, ho ho. that one, when we finished that, if you notice, we ended in a spiral. And as we were giving thanks to all those medical plants, even though we're on carpet here, not outside, which we want to be. Although it's pretty cold today, I don't know if we want to be outside today, but we want to sing the song outside. And we finish in that spiral, really puts that energy, all of our energy, right back into that place, and that earth right then, to that earth. You know, there's a reciprocation, there's a polarity in our energies compared to the earth's energy, that we need to bring balance within each other. You know, you can only take so much from an individual before that individual gets upset with this person that they keep taking from me, right? So the earth feels the same way. We need to think about the earth in that way. We can't keep taking from the earth without giving back. And that one way that we gave back was that song right there. It was one of the ways that we gave back. So since we got everybody almost in a circle, I'm going to grab my drum. You guys can kind of fan back into a circle. We're going to go right into a circle dance here. We're going to talk a little bit about it before we get going. I got my drum here. All right, where's my nephews? All right. So do one of you guys want to talk about the circle dance? What it means? Why we do it? Anybody? All right, I'll talk a little bit about it. So this dance right here, it puts us all back on the same wavelength. So the circle, we understand that everything in nature is circle, and everything that circle is sacred in that way. You know, when we came into this earth, we came into this space in a round circle stomach. And we know when we came out of that circle hole, we stepped onto a circle earth. And we understand that on that circle earth, we can look up and we see that circle sun, Kiser, and that circle moon, Okumis. We understand that all the things that allow us to breathe here on earth are circle, are those Nipmuc, those trees. We understand that we're only able to see these things through our circle eyes, right? And so we understand that that circle is sacred. You know, we watched these beavers at the monks build these circle homes. And they showed us how to share our homes in that way. Because if you look at a beaver's home, it'll share its home with other beings here, other relatives here. And so we knew that that circle was important and was sacred to us. And only a colonizer can come here and build a square home, right? We didn't understand that. You know, I think about my teachers and my elders. I think about Animal, and I always hear his voice in the back of my head. He's like, they weren't even efficient, you know. The air, it goes up and gets trapped in the corner in the square home. And our round homes kept the air circulating. You know, and they call our knowledge primitive, but it was actually so advanced and so high-tech, actually, when it comes to the ways that we built our homes and the ways that we lived here. Nice! Good medicine right there. You gonna sing? Okay. Okay, you gonna sing with me? You know, we knew that, you know, these beings here are sacred in that way, you know, and, you know, we give thanks, especially for these young ones, for the coming of age, you know, they're pure. We can learn so many lessons here, you know. And for some reason, you know, we're always trying to teach the young ones. Teach them what but you need to sit back and let them teach you. We have so many more lessons as we get older in life that we need to be learning from these young ones. Because we get caught up in this society that life has put us in, that we don't take the time to learn these lessons that these young ones want to teach us. And so in this circle dance, a lot of times our matriarchs or people traditionally would have put us in a circle next to the ones that we were quarreling with, right? Look, we got two brothers right next to each other. You guys think that they've ever had a quarrel? No? So it's perfect that they're standing right next to each other right now, because traditionally, sometimes if they were going through things, they would have stood right next to each other and had to hold hands in this dance, because in this dance we hold hands. And what this dance does is it links all of our hearts back together as one. You know, because in today's day and age, we have these hierarchies, these particular types of classes and statuses of people, right? But in traditional days, we had circle and community, and everybody was even. All our hearts are right about at the same spots if you look at this circle here. Nobody's higher than each other here. And so this dance right here would have brought us all back into that even keel and linked us, to this heartbeat of this drum, the heartbeat of the earth, and all of our heartbeats together. It would have created no hierarchies. It would have brought us all back on an even plane, and it made us think about those things. So I'm going to sing this song, and my nephews can give a quick demonstration about what it's going to look like. It's very simple. Go ahead, I'm going to sing, and he's just going to show you. You guys are going to move clockwise, basically to the drum, and then there's going to be a point where you'll hear a tempo switch. And you're going to put your left foot in and your left foot out, and then you're going to put your left foot in and shake it all about the other side. So what that's doing actually is your left foot is you're putting it back into that circle, and your left is you're closest to your heart, so it's linking everybody back into that same energy like that. And then when that tempo changes, you'll switch positions. You'll go to the other side. And so I'll check everybody's fatigue as I'm singing, and I'll make sure that, because sometimes these dances, these socials, they would go on for a long time too. They wouldn't just be these quick songs that we're doing. They would go on for hours. But I won't do that to you guys. I won't have some short time. And we got plenty of songs to sing. So we'll move into this right here. I think that they understand. Does everybody with a head nod understand the way the dance is going to go? All right. So we'll go right into it then. I always save this for the end. This song gets faster and faster. So I hope everybody, yeah, be careful. So it gets faster and faster, and then by the time it's done, so just know, it gets faster. Are you exercises that we usually do in the spring and summer, so don't want to burn people down too much. So thank you guys for joining that. Hey, Well, there'll be one lady, so you will be behind. The ladies will be in a single file line, and then the men will be in pairs. And so you guys can come up here and show how this is done. When I start singing the song, oh, hey, 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 you're going to be hunting down your ducks. Oh, hey, hey, hey. They're walking backwards. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh, honey, oh, and then when the tempo changes, the men will put their arms up. So there'll be a line of men that will have their arms up like London bridges. And all the ducks will run under the bridge here. Drop down and let that stop. When I stop like that, whoever's in the circles, then they have their duck, and then we go back to yo, hey, 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 and you dance with your food back to your home. Okay? This is the duck dance. This is the traditional dance. This is the hunter's dance, and this is the gatherer's dance. And so, if we can get our men in pairs, and we start right about here, and the men start shuffling that way into a circle, and then the single file ducks start right in front of the men, right here. So men in pairs, and start lining up into a circle. Pairs facing each other. All the way down, everybody find pair, 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 pair. No, I think there's a lot more ducks than hundreds. That means you guys have plenty of food. So remember, you guys don't put your arms down until I stop the... Okay, but when we start this, you guys are out. They're out under. They're walking backwards. You're walking towards them. Okay? So can we get kind of more like a circle? Okay, this is looking good. All right. We're going to start hunting. You guys ready? Yeah. Now watch your step.
just want to kind of blend in and get in where I fit in. And again, this community, I hear a brother speaking out, and he's on a colonial ally to our indigenous ways, but it's something that each and every one of us here, I see a lot of children, and we want to do better for their future generations. So I have to ask, is there any individual here who knows that they are a Mayflower descendant? Be proud. How many of you know that you have history to people like Benjamin Church or John Eliot or some of these missionaries, Roger Williams perhaps? Anyone? So as it's my duty to be here for this young man and his generation now, and I'm very grateful again that he can ask me in these ways how I can be here for him. However, if your children are not here to speak on their own behalf, I've been very fortunate to meet people, grown men, who break down in tears because they physically never met face to face with someone that their own ancestors may have possibly tried to put to death. And therefore it is our obligation as people who are alive and living today that we do better for our future generations, for all these children that I see here. So I appreciate that man's plea. We can do better, Massachusetts, and I want to say that if more of you can connect with more of your family members who are on that side, who can help us do better for our future generations, I think that that's something that I know that these children would appreciate. And I want to say that each and every one of us in our lifetimes will appreciate knowing we did our part. So thank you for bringing that up, and I just wanted to point out that if there's anything I can do to help support these things, because these are the connections that need to be made and the education that needs to be made. I'm very fortunate to go to a lot of schools, and I always try and get kids to understand if you're an Irish person, you need to be proud of that. You're very fortunate if you can go to Ireland and you can hear your culture, you can hear your language, you can see your architecture. Many of us don't have that luxury, and we're right here in our own area. And if it, again, is in your family bloodline that not you physically here today, had something to do with something that happened hundreds of years ago, I personally don't hold that blame and that guilt against people who are here today. I don't do that myself, and I can only speak for myself. But I do hold each and every one of you who are here today responsible for your actions here today, so that we know when we go to our graves that we did our absolute best for our future generations. So again, thank you for pointing this out. This is a statewide issue. This is not a Native American issue. This is an issue for our future generations.
Yeah, thank you, Antoine. And if some of you didn't even know that we were just down in Charlestown, like I spoke earlier, burning out a machine, the first machine that was burnt out in the city limits since the time of the war, or before the war, clearly. It wasn't until 2004 that a Native American was even allowed within the city limits without being accompanied by a musketeer. This was still in law in 2004, or else it would be hung. In 2004. And so there's a lot of things that people don't know that are still happening through different type of legislation and law that you should do this research, you know, and if you're coming out to help support and ally with us, definitely, especially like Antoine was just saying, if you were, if it's your family line too, I know some people that are close to me now that they know that it was their family line, and I watch the way that they walk, and they walk their talk also, and they do what they can to help ally with us and highlight our issues and the problems and the scenarios that we have going on from day to day. So I just want to give thanks to everybody who's here, number one. I see another Nipmuc just rolled up. It's his birthday. Let's say happy birthday to Ethan. We got a whole bunch of Nipmucs in the house. We got Chaubunagungamaug, we got Mashpee Wampanoag, you know, we got some good folks, you know, Abenaki. Like I said, you know, still waiting. I know that it wasn't too long ago that the Abenaki did come down and speak about being present with us, and I look forward to singing and dancing with them folks as well. And so this is we're gonna move into an alligator dance. And so my nephews and my bro Dylan, he's gonna show you how it's done. So we're gonna move into an alligator dance. Well, it's actually man-woman to bring some balance. So this is a partner. You guys can partner up again. You're gonna come into a line. It's gonna be a line dance, and there's gonna be a tempo change where you guys are gonna switch positions. But what you say? I'll make it. What?
Well, because when I was standing there,
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
so I don't know.
So he's going to give you a quick demo about the way that it moves, and then you guys can kind of partner and get in line like this. Or you can get in line anyways right now. I want everybody to start to shift behind the lead right here in partners and keep lining up behind each other.
Yeah, so when the beat changes,
He's going to give you a quick, just spin because it makes it tougher. So
it's just
we're going to give you a quick demo so you can see how it's done, and then we'll get going with everybody's. Oh, yane, 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 oh, when I say yo ho, what do you guys say? Way up, yo ho, way up, yo ho, way up, yo ho, way up. All right, I think you got it. You guys want to start back right here, just so that you're the lead? And then if you guys kind of want to just give each other a little bit of space, or you're going to be stomping each other's ankles.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll get going here. Oh,